TIFU by buying a used PlayStation 2 on Letgo that caused me to face my worst fear. This happened only minutes ago. The graphics card in my old PS2 decided it wanted to give up on me recently, so I decided to replace it when I had a little extra cash. I was out browsing different sites like Craigslist and the like, when I stumbled upon the PS2 mentioned in the title. It looked like a great deal at the time. $25 to buy it from this guy, whereas a second-hand store in town was selling them for around $45 to $60. At the time, this seemed like a no-brainer. Now, I should preface this by saying that I have a strange faith in the honesty of others. Benefit of the doubt and all that noise. After all, the car I drive now is one I bought from a guy on the internet, and it runs great for something that is 27 years old. Why should this be any different? Starting to sound like a mistake yet? If the answer is no, then have no fear. That is almost certainly about to change. The model the seller advertised on Letgo was one of the larger black brick models, like the first generation ones. When I finally met the seller, we had a brief handshake and exchange. When he showed me the goods, it was actually one of the slim and silver PS2s from later in the console's production run. He told me he had already sold the larger one. My first instinct, as many logical Redditors would tell me, is that I should have walked away when I saw I was being sold something that was improperly advertised. Unfortunately for me, and I guess, fortunately for the rest of you reading this, I was not in the most logical mood. It was kind of a crappy drive to a pretty sketchy part of town, and it had already been a long morning. I just wanted to get this thing and go home. Back at the Olay Ranch, I hooked up the console, slapped in Kingdom Hearts 2, and got ready to enjoy the rest of my day. I'm off work and done with class, what else would I do with my evening, right? I was pretty happy with my life until I realized I had been waiting for 5 or so minutes and the disc wasn't reading. Strange, but not altogether discouraging. I slapped in another game that I knew for sure was working. Didn't read. I repeated this several times with discs I knew would work, same story. Now I'm starting to get slightly pissed. I'm sure you can see where this next part is going. I open up the app to message the seller and let him know he had sold me a defective console. Not so much to my surprise, he had blocked me. I've now got no way to contact him. Of course not, he just took me for a fudging ride. All I could do at that point was report him and live in my shame. That, or I could get onto YouTube and try to find a fix for a disk read error. I picked the latter option and went on my merry way. After a video about a quick mod I could make to the system, I was feeling pretty confident that I was going to get the last laugh on this one. Oh golly gee fudge, was I wrong. Now at this point, I begin to tumble from my perch of the high and mighty, and start snowballing right down the tall fudging mountain. I manage to get the appropriate screws out and pry the bad boy open. It's putting up a little more of a fight than I saw in the videos. But why wouldn't it? It was never meant to be opened this way in the first place. With a little elbow grease, it starts to give. I'm also starting to spot a bit of rust in one of the memory card slots. A bit annoying, but the other one was working a few minutes ago, so I can live with that. The further I get it open, the more rust I see on some more critical pieces. I'm sweating again, but holding out hope. Finally, the plastic casing comes free, and I experience the joy of a man that is working with his own two hands to solve a problem. I experience this joy for maybe a second and a half. You see, after prying the top casing off of the console, the bottom half sort of clattered back down onto the desk. The first thing I notice is that the inside is covered in rust. The second thing I notice is that some of the rust is moving. Oh, that's not all rust. Osnofabich the zerfudge mothering cockroaches. Do you know that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where Indiana Jones is like, snakes? Why did it have to be snakes? That was me. Except with cockroaches. They are the one insect that fill me with more disgust than anything else. And now they're crawling on my hands. And these are the quick little tiny ones that don't give two fudges about whether you've stepped on them or not. I threw that whole console on the ground post haste. which only made them more riled up. They're getting everywhere now. I'm yelling for help to my roommates and stomping the ground like a fudging madman in a fit of terrified panic. You would think that something caught fire with the way I was yelling, which is what my roommate said he thought had happened, but no, just cockroaches. Tiny, $25 freaks of nature. Eventually I managed to eradicate most of the insect horde with stomping and shouting alone, at which point I grabbed a can of Raid from the laundry room and finished the job. At least, I hope I finished the job. I am fairly certain there are at least 2 of those little fudgers still running around under the bed, but at this point I'm a little too emotionally drained to care. I also get the extreme pleasure of wallowing in the fact that I basically just paid $25 to get covered in my least favorite living thing on the planet. Jesus, it's only 3 in the afternoon and I already need a stiff drink. TL, doctor, I bought a used PS2 online, opened it up to fix it, and got covered in cockroaches. Edit, hi, Reddit. I just wanted to say many thanks for the gold and all the offers for cockroach-free PlayStations. Warms my heart, and I'm super happy you guys enjoyed my writing as well. Happy Redditing.